Good morning, everybody. So I'm Richard. I'm the co-founder of Smart Containers. We are a Swiss-based company, and it's really exciting to introduce what we do at Smart Containers. We're a 5.5-year-old company, so we're atypical ICO. So what do we do? We are in the logistics space, so interesting enough, there are a lot of projects here that are in logistics. Usually I have to explain why logistics is important, but it looks like a lot of people have the same feeling here. More than $2,100 billion a year is spent on logistics. More specifically, what I know is cold chain, and more than $250 billion a year is spent on cold chain, and more specifically on pharma, it's $12 billion a year. And this is actually where Smart Containers Group started out. 5 years ago, we actually started designing containers for the pharmaceutical industry, and we saw how cumbersome it is to move assets around the world. It takes up to 200 communications, so digital emails, this can be phone calls, to move assets around the world. And we thought that there is a better way to do that. In school, you want to be the insider. Here, you want to be the outsider. When you disrupt something, you are the outsider. So what are outsiders doing? Tesla is the one that's bringing autonomous driving to the road. It's not Mercedes that was the first to the road. Apple was the one that saved the music industry. And Amazon was the first one that really disrupted the way products are shipped around the world. And then there's us. So what do we do with these guys up there? We are combining hardware and software in a new way. And this is what these guys are doing. They're combining hardware and software in a new way. So this is myself and Nico, my co-founder. What are we all about? We realized that the potential of smart contracts on the blockchain. So I believe we can increase the productivity 10x in actually using smart contracts and make the logistics industry more efficient and more sustainable, also from an ecological point of view. Now, Nico is more radical. He said, we want to build an autonomous container that requires zero admin. So nobody has to chase a container, because this week it's with DHL. DHL, through a smart contract, knows they have to hand it back at a depot in Singapore. If they take 2 days longer, it's automatically invoiced. Where are we today? We have 2 applications. One is called SkyCell. It's 5.5 years old. And the other one is we're launching right now. It's called Food Guardians, where we do the same containers for the food industry. Where is SkyCell today? SkyCell is the 4th largest container provider in the pharma space. We, on average, reduce the cost in the pharma distribution by 20%. And we're recognized as the safest system to distribute pharmaceutical products now around the world. Actually, I have data to prove that. In our industry, that's measured in out of how many trips your container fails. Our failure rate is below 0.1%. The industry average is at 8.5%. So we're a whopping 75 times better than the market average. Now, for about 3 years, we got requests to go into the food space, and we had to focus. But now that the pharma side is running well, we can branch out. And so that's why we're launching this year Food Containers. And this is fundamentally different from our business-to-business model on the pharma side. And that's why we're doing an ICO, because we want to reach people out there that invest in us and become our brand ambassadors and identify business cases for us. So food is about food safety. And in the Western world, we don't realize how well off we are that actually the food is secure. And the second part is about cost. Food distribution needs to be really cost efficient. And this is where we can bring a huge value add, as our solutions cost less than $1 a day to use when you do food distribution in a country. Where we are today, we're a leading technology company in Switzerland on the container space. We have close to 100 patents. We actually have 96 patents for pending. We're 75 times more reliable than the market average. And we actually integrated Internet of Things sensors already 4 years ago into our containers. And we've collected 1.3 billion data points about the supply chain. So actually, airlines come to us and ask us, so how are we doing? But the buck doesn't stop here. So we are developing on the blockchain protocol to make it more efficient the way you track assets in logistics. And instead of a person chasing up all the individual documents where a container is around the world, we're turning it around and attaching all that document to the shipping parcel. And that's used through a public blockchain part and through a private blockchain part, because not all documents should be visible in logistics. So why should you invest? We're a fully operative company. We have 12 out of the top 20 pharma customers already today. And we see an ICO as a mini IPO. So it's a marketing effort on the one side and a fundraising effort at the same time. So, and it would be great if you join us for the ride to build this up into the next level. Thank you.